Hi, I'm Annette and welcome to our podcast. Don't forget to watch to the end so you can see this baby being re-put together from start to finish. So this week, guys, I am doing a podcast on the run. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss the opportunity to do one every week, but I've had such a massive week. If you go to my website, you will see I've been working tirelessly to get it sort of, you probably won't really notice it. It's one of those things, but I've been working on eyes and I've been photographing, and it seems endless. If I was to work on my eyes, I'm just raving here, but it would take probably a week or more to get it totally up to scratch. So thank you. I hope you appreciate that. I also wanted to give a shout out this week to Renee and Nikki. Renee from Renee's Reborns and Nikki from Still Moments Nursery. Thank you, ladies, both. You said that you have been enjoying my podcasts, and I just appreciate the fact that you watch. It's really, really cool. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Please, if you haven't already gone to like either of those, you can find them on Facebook. Now, I did speak a couple of weeks ago about this baby. We talked about of how to fix a baby up, just doing a quick fix and, cleaning up their eyes so they're bright and shiny. This one's eyes were pretty dusty and, it was just looking a bit crap, but its body is crap. So I told you guys that I would show you how to do all of that. So we're going to do that today, kind of while we chat. Do you mind? I hope you don't mind. Towards the end of the video, I will whack in a bit. I did another interview with Dorina, and I've let her share that video, but I have it as well. And for those who don't watch her program, then I will just be doing little snippets of it, cut-ups, and put them into my podcast along the way, so you still get the full effect of it. So let's start with this baby. Please, like I said, excuse the sense of urgency in me. I just want to get this done. And if you saw in front of me, I will show you. I will. So this is basically what I'm working with. Oh, it's so crazy. I've got 2 trestle tables in front of me and I'm working like crazy on literally everything on the table. And that's not just a start. I'm on my Pepsi Max. Of course, that keeps me going. All the eyes are being, updated. This is the next box that I've got to do. Crazy. I've got some little mini nappies I need to list, and it goes on and on. So yeah, to say I'm a little bit overwhelmed is probably to say the least. I even need to wash my hair. I've been sick over the weekend, and being sick is not good for me because it sort of restricts me from everything, and then I'm like, bleh. Anyway, let's get this started. So if you have a baby that you have been wanting to refurbish, maybe change the body, maybe it's got the wrong body on. I've already showed you guys how to give it a clean. So you can go back to I'll show right up there what podcast it was. You can go back there to figure out how to clean. Today we're just talking about like a change of body and maybe things. Oh, look at this. It's got a really pointy bit of cable tie out here, which is so dangerous. I guarantee you if that was to cut my wrist, it probably wouldn't look really good. Or a child. Could you imagine that? It's so hard and so pointy. Can you see it just there? It's so sharp. So one of the biggest things when you're putting together a reborn, you need to make sure that is nice and flat. In the beginning of my journey, I made a reborn for someone and it had a little bit of that cut off, poking out. And she literally, I had to give her a refund and go pick up the baby. It was not very far from me because she was upset by it. But anyway, so I've known not to do that, and I always make sure I tell all my students and friends, cut the cable tie nice and flush. Okay, so just getting a pair of scissors, nothing fancy, just scissors will do. It's best with scissors because you can get it under, you need to get it under that cable tie. Now, I don't need to worry if I cut this body at all But if you've got another body, a good body, you might want to keep it for another baby. So be really careful. But I just go under the cable tie there to lever it out, and then wiggling my scissors, I get it to the stage where my scissors is coming out the other end there, you can see. And if you push harder, it just breaks anyway. So heads off. Let's do the limbs. I'll give that a bit of a race job. It's the same sort of thing. So I normally work from the body to the skin. It's just easier to lever underneath that cable tie there when I'm going from the body to the skin. You do obviously have to make sure of the skin that you're not going to scratch it. If it's painted well enough, it won't scratch. You won't have any problems with it. But just be mindful of that, keeping your scissors away. Like I said, normally it'll just crack open like that, but sometimes you might have to lever your scissors. So let's get all of these limbs off. Okay, so this is what we call in the reborn industry a chicken body. Looks like a chicken, right? Roast chicken. Wouldn't like to eat that. Now, I'm going to feel that body. It does have some weight in the bottom, but only a really small amount. The polyfill is pretty ordinary. I mean, it might be a nice colour, but it feels pretty ordinary. Actually, it smells like baby powder, so that's not too bad. But we're going to get it in here and see what's happening. Generally, when I'm putting a new body on, I put fresh polyfill. Old polyfill, oh, there we go, that sack's okay. Old polyfill can sometimes smell smoky or get, you know, an old house smell to it. I'm probably going to get a runny nose soon from the baby powder smell. This doesn't smell too bad. I'm going to reuse it, mainly because this baby that I'm going to re-put back together is just going to be sold off as a pre-loved baby. And with my pre-loved babies, I'm not saying that I don't put any love and care into it, but they get the basic treatment. And in this particular reason, this still smells like baby powder, and it still looks clean, and it doesn't smell like smoke or animals or anything. So we can reuse that, as we can reuse the little bits in the arm as well. That smells okay too. Sorry, I'm sort of like wincing when I smell it. It's just I've had a cold and my nose is still like slightly runny, so it doesn't take much for it to get really runny. Now you should be able to see all of those yucky spots, age spots, and this is an old Pat Seacrest body, so it's pretty old. I'm guessing from the look of it that it's a 20-inch 3/4 body. So let's get a new one. Thanks, Annette. Perfect. So here we've got some of the 20-inch 3/4 bodies that I sell at Aussie Reborn Supplies. You'll see a little shop link to them below in case you need it. And you can see the difference. That's much nicer, isn't it? Okay, so this actually goes in the bin. Sorry, guys. Some people might be thinking, no, don't put it in the bin, but it is rubbish. It can't be used for anything. I wouldn't use it for anything else. Okay, so another thing we're going to do before we put it back together, nice and easy, we're going to see first if it will take a magnetic dummy. And how you can do that is just by, if you've got a magnetic dummy at home or a magnet, you just rub the magnet around its facial area. And if it sticks, that means it's got a magnet in the head. If it doesn't, that means that you would have to glue a magnet into the head. So I don't have to take that out on this occasion. Like I said earlier, this is just going to be a pre-loved baby. And although it would be really nice to have a dummy on this baby, I'm going to leave it as is. And if the customer requests that, well, I'm going to do that for them. But other than that, this baby just needs a body and maybe some eyelashes to make it look really pretty. So let's do the body first. So with the body, it's so nice and easy. You just need to put a little bit of polyfill in each of those limb sections. Now don't overfill, okay? Because if you overfill, your baby will look like a muscle baby or a really fat chicken. Another thing I do when I'm doing my own babies is I always put plugs in them and neck rings if it's on a full limb body. With a 3/4 limb body, you don't need the neck rings because the limb itself has got that rotation in it. But again, because this is a pre-loved baby, I don't feel the need to put extra costs into it. I'm not going to be asking for more money at the end of the day. So yeah, we just make sure it is the correct limb in the correct side. I've pulled that cable tie just a little bit too tight when I was adjusting it just then. So it just means a little bit of wiggling in there. My fingers aren't working properly. And there we go. As you can see, there isn't too much polyfill in there. It sort of goes within the length of the leg, the shape of the leg up the top. I could add a tiny little bit more, but I feel like that's pretty much enough. So once you get the limb all in place, making sure that the cable tie is between the canal there. Once it all feels good, I can pull that cable tie a little bit tighter. Oh yeah, I can feel that. I can feel there's a little bit of skin under there wanting to pop out. You might wonder what the hell I'm saying there, but if I pull on this, I can see. Can you see that? That's disaster when it comes to reborns. You need to make sure that you get that cable tie in that channel the best you can. Once it's in the channel, it will stay there. But if you don't get it in the first time, it'll pop out and then you'll be up for the cost of another cable tie. Okay, I'm checking that. Okay, it seems okay, so I'm going to give it another pull. Yes, that's really good now. See that? I mean, if I was to really, really pull that, I can pull that out. But that's generally because this vinyl is very, very flexible. So it can pop out if it was mistreated. So there's the first leg. I'll race and do the second leg. So while I'm doing the second leg, I won't tell you exactly what I'm doing because you saw me do that before. Let's chat about you. How are you going? Is the reborn industry treating you nice? I find some people, say to me that they're not able to find their way really in the reborn industry. I don't know. I think that you find your own way, and when it's time, it'll be time. You do have to put yourself out there. You do. And sometimes that's not easy for us. I understand that. I really do. But, try to get yourself into some kind of reborn and community group. I kind of know that's easy for me to say since I've got such a great community group here in Queensland. Our picnic has been really popular and, the ladies have really found themselves within that picnic. Yay! I'm going to do the arms now. It's pretty much exactly the same as the legs, okay? So, I just wanted to say and put it out there that, you're going okay. I know that it feels sometimes a bit overwhelming, but stick with what you know, stick with what you love, and be honest. Always be honest to people. Honesty gets you everywhere. It really does. Okay, so we're getting there. There we go. It just wanted to be a little bit challenging. Oh, this one is one of those cable ties that are done a little bit squiggly. Now, I probably could have put a little bit more polyfill in there. I probably should have put a little bit more polyfill in there. But it won't make or break a pre-loved baby. And most of my pre-loved babies, by the way, are mainly sold to little girls whose mothers don't necessarily want to spend a small fortune on reborns. Fair enough, right? So it will last and it will be loved regardless. So there we go, putting that in there. Making sure when you do put the arms on, or the legs for that matter, that it's angled in the right way. So see how that angle is, you know, down the front and the arms sort of across the body. If you sort of left it out like that, it might look like a Happy Meal or something. You know, you've got to think about how it's going to rest, how it's going to lay once you put it into place. The full limbs are normally a little bit easier because, you know, they're not supported by that joint there that is factoring in where it's going to sit. Okay, so we've got all the limbs put on now. How nice does that look compared to what it did look? How nice, right? So now what I do, this little baby is going to get a bum full of polyfill. I know half of you know how to do this, but this is just for those people who are wanting to do a quick refurb on their baby. We can get them in. And more. Now, of course, we've got to put some little bit more heavier weight in there. Make sure you fill up those bum cheeks if your body has bum cheeks, because otherwise it'll just look like a waist. I mean, you don't want to have a J-Lo bum sticking out, or Nicki Minaj bum sticking out there, but at the same time you want to sort of fill in a little bit of those creases. Okay, so a little bit more, and then we'll put the weight in. Okay, now this weight, it's not really that heavy, but again, this baby is probably going to be for a little girl. So I don't need it to be too weighty. The head's got a good weight, actually, so it will flop back. But again, this has actually got premium glass bead inside, so I'm really surprised by that. That doesn't normally happen. Normally you get these babies that are sort of really well used, and they don't have any premium products in. So let's just put that in like that. This is a pretty great refix because reusing all this polyfill and its weight is only costing me the price of a body, which is basically $29.95. So that's a quick fix to make something look really great. Would you agree? Okay, so I filled the rest of its polyfill into its body. That looks pretty good. I'm definitely happy with that. But I definitely will get a neck ring for this baby. Now, neck rings come in all sizes. So if you need to fix your baby at home, you need to measure across from edge to edge of the bottom of your neck. Now, this says here, it says just past 70 millimeters. So I've gone for a 70 millimeter neck ring, which fits really nicely. If you want to fill that with a plug, you need to measure from side to side of the plug like that there, and it'll take a 40 millimeter. So 4 centimeters is 40 millimeter, 7 centimeters or just around that is a 70 millimeter. So what we need to do is get that little edge here into this canal. This should be quite easy because this neck is fairly soft. But to make it quicker, what I normally do, they're really sharp scissors, so I think I will get my really blunt scissors. You normally just get the edge of your neck and sort of lever it out. Slowly but surely, levering it out on either side. Or if you have an oven, a baby oven, not your food oven, at home, you could always bake it, just put it in to warm the head for probably about 2 or 3 minutes and get it out, and it will make it very pliable for you to get that neck ring in. Now that took a little longer than I care to admit, right? Should have just put it in the oven. It wasn't as pliable as I wanted. But at the end of the day, it's done and it'll look great. So we're just going to now put this in place on the baby. Don't pull it too tight. If you pull it too tight, you might counteract the fact of that neck ring working. So let's see for a turn. A nice turn, but also you've got to bend this out to make sure that that neck isn't going to pop out. And that's fine. It's really fine. Look at him. He's so different. So now with just a simple toenail cutter, I call them cable tie cutters because I use them for cable ties only. You need to get nice and flush right as far as you can to the edge of that cable tie and cut, and you shouldn't feel anything there, not a thing. If you do, if you feel like a bit of a nail there, make sure you go back and trim it again. Sorry, I thought someone was here, so I had to go check. So nice and close, again, like I said. And on the leg. Feeling every time. Oh, see, that feels a little bit rough there. So you got to try to get a little bit closer. Oh, as the eyes get older, it's harder to see. Oh, yep. That's better. So one more is the neck. Now, if you want to get really particular about this, normally when we cut the neck cable tie, that means when we're birthing the baby. So if you want to give it a birth time and date, it'll be today's date and whatever time it is, which is now 12:13 p.m. And there we go. He is all ready, or she, whatever it's going to be. So I'm going to pop in now a bit of the interview with Dorena. Come back at the end to see this baby all dressed. I know you saw it at the beginning, but we're going to do it at the end again.
And we're talking about some of them in the nursing homes. And I hear often that they're not allowed to have a reborn. And yet it brings so much comfort. And there was a story recently where there was some reborns with one particular lady who loves them. And this particular friend came in to have cuddles. And then she said to her family she'd like one. Well, they ended up buying her one, but they brought her a shop-brought doll, just a doll. And they expected her to connect, and she didn't. And by the end of it, she put on a brave face. And by the end, she went to this particular lady with the babies, the reborns, and said, I'm not silly. This is a doll. This isn't a reborn. This doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right.
Wow.
And I don't want it. And she gave it to her. She said, give it to someone else. We need to be careful. You know, we can't undermine people. We can't take away what they think and what they feel and what they need. And I've seen it a lot, especially with people who can't have children, whether they're on the spectrum or with a disability. What's to stop giving them something that they can nurture, they can change, they can learn different skills, and they can complete their life cycle by doing something that they feel is just normal.
It's incredible.
It is normal.
It's incredible the way you said that. Complete their life cycle. Like, that is such an amazing point of view. Like, it is normal. It is normal that we all have this life cycle and things to do, and yeah, they can complete it where before they couldn't.
We have one life, and we need each other. We need a community to reach out. You know, we need joy in our life.
So here we go, all together, nice and fresh, nice clean eyes compared to what they were. He's got a fresh, nice outfit and would be very much loved by someone. Like I said, this is a pre-loved baby, so I would generally sell a pre-loved baby for around $250, depending, just depending. Sometimes less, sometimes more. If you have any questions about this, please send a message, put a message below, and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching today, and happy reborning.